CRF. C bar G, that is capital goods. F bar G, that is, any idea if you have final goods FG, intermediary goods IG, and also I have written S bar G. Then gross investment and depreciation. Those are the basic concepts. And definitely, Anurag, this NFIA and all, we will in more detail, we will see in the national income calculation. So I will tell you what is that in a nutshell. What is that? We will see it in detail also. Okay. So the terms were capital consumer goods. What are consumer goods? Anybody? So I'm just going through the portion. Factory income and transfer income is not there. Final goods and intermediate goods. Start from final goods and intermediate goods. What is final goods? That is in the word itself, final goods, which is used for final consumption. We don't want to do more processing into it. We can use it as such. Such goods are known as final goods. And intermediate goods, we use it for resale or further production. We have to process it. You cannot consume it directly, or even though you can consume it, you are not using it in the final form. You are furtheration, you are doing some processing to that. Such kind of goods is known as intermediate goods. In that case, you have seen that a particular good may be final goods to someone and intermediate goods to some other person. You may purchase a book of macroeconomics from the bookstore, so you are using it, so that is a final good for you. But for the shopkeeper, his purpose is for reselling purpose. So for him, that is an intermediate goods. A lot of examples you have seen, and you can see many examples also. Okay, like when you purchase the milk, it become a final good, and when it is purchased by the dairy shop and all, it is intermediate goods and all. So that you have seen. Then there is consumer goods and final goods. After that, you also have seen. Yeah, what else you have seen?
Ma'am,
Sorry.
one doubt I have.
Yes. Yes.
Ma'am, if I have purchased a book from
Mm-hmm.
the bookstore, ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
and after using it, I resold it.
Mm-hmm.
So, ma'am, it is a final good for me or a
See,
intermediate?
when you are consuming it, it's a final goods for you. But you haven't bought it for the purpose of resale. If you are buying it for the purpose of resale, that become an intermediate goods. Okay, now it is with you. Your purpose is over. That's kind of business you are making out of it. You are making money out of it. That's all. So, but at the time of buying, you didn't mean like I have to resell it. Okay, when you are making that, it's economic activity. You are making some profit out of it. You cannot name it like intermediate goods or finished goods, because after your consumption, you are making the same. But your purpose, when you bought it, you haven't bought it with the purpose of reselling it. Okay, Priyanshu. So there is no, fixed demarcation for that. It's an isolated case. After you use, you are selling it. In a way, you can say that point of time, it is intermediate goods. कैसे होगा बेटा? You are not doing furtheration to be further processing हो रही क्या? No, but you haven't bought the product for the with the purpose of reselling it. Even by making resale, you want to make a profit out of it. With that purpose, you haven't bought it. Okay, Priyanshu.
Ma'am, one more thing. Ma'am, supposedly, ma'am, if we bought a machinery for production
Mm-hmm.
of goods, ma'am,
Mm-hmm. After using it,
uh,
you are selling it.
no, ma'am, we
Mm-hmm.
are we are we bought machine for production. So, ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
where does it count? Does it count as a cap intermediate or a final good?
You are consuming it. You are not making the resale of it. You have bought it not for the purpose of resale. You are consuming it. Once you consume it, is definitely final goods.
Ma'am, but we are,
It's kind of capital good. It's a machinery. It's a kind of capital good, but you are using it without any processing into that.
Ma'am, but we are using it for production.
Sorry.
Ma'am, but we are also using it for production, ma'am.
So in that case, you can say it's a capital goods, but you are consuming it. It's a capital goods for you. Capital goods are meant for production. Capital goods are meant for what purpose? It's meant for production purpose. Your business is not reselling like buying a lot of machines and make profit out of selling it. You're not making a resale out of that, and you are not even doing any processing into that. You are consuming it.
Ma'am, ma'am, but ma'am, the final, the finished goods made out of that machine
Mm-hmm.
are,
That will be
are
sold.
that will be sold. So ma'am,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hello.
then ma'am, we are using it as it for
See,
production
there
purpose.
are two divisions: intermediary goods and
Final
the two
goods,
division. Intermediary goods and final goods. That is one division. And another division is consumer goods and
capital goods.
capital goods. So, a consumer goods may be consumer goods and capital goods. It may be intermediary or final. And the case and in the capital goods also may be intermediary or final. Both the divisions are different. Okay, we will come back to it, Priyanshu, because 15 minutes over, I haven't started. I will come back to you. Okay, I will give you some time for the clarification of this doubt. Okay, Priyanshu?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we have seen consumer goods, then final goods, intermediary goods, then what? Capital goods, isn't it? So those are the terms which is given in the books: consumption goods and capital goods, consumer goods and capital goods, which is meant for consumption. That is consumption good, capital goods, which is used for production. Then the next term, the last term actually, that is gross investment and net investment and the depreciation. What is gross investment? Now you just understand investment, you know, investing money. So here the concept gross is important. Gross investment means without deducting the depreciation. The word gross here means you just have to understand the term what is gross investment. Gross investment is the investment which includes depreciation also. And when it is net investment, gross investment minus depreciation is equal to net investment. So that is, you just like while doing the problem, if you are asked gross of something, you have to add the depreciation, and you are asked the net, then you have to minus the depreciation. Only that thing you have to know, and you know what is depreciation. Depreciation is the decrease in the value of asset due to many reasons. It can be the normal wear and tear, or can be due to obsolescence or the passage of time, or out of date it going. Okay, then likewise it can be, there can be many reasons for decrease in the value of asset. Due to whatever reason, when decrease in the value of asset happens, that is known as depreciation. And this depreciation is added back. If the net value given, it will be added back to get the gross. So we have importance here for the calculation of national income. When the net is given, you have to find out the gross. Depreciation should be added back. When the gross is given, you have to find out the net. You have to deduct the depreciation. And you know what is depreciation. You have done depreciation accounting also the previous year. You should know the meaning, that you know. Then the reasons for depreciation also you know. In this case, we just have to understand that gross value means net value plus depreciation. This context we have to understand. Gross value means net value plus depreciation. Then what is net value? Net value means gross value. Yeah, complete. What is net value? Gross value minus
Depreciation.
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 Okay, so depreciation, you just net, and what is the term net means? What do you mean by the term net and gross? That you have to understand while calculating the national income. So gross means net plus depreciation, and net means gross minus depreciation. And what is depreciation? The reason for depreciation and all you know. Then there is another thing. Depreciation, you know that there is something like capital loss. Capital loss, like due to some unforeseen calamities or some problem, natural calamities, theft and all, fire and all, your asset is being destroyed. Then we will say capital loss. In that case, we will say it is depreciation. Depreciation is a normal wear and tear. Depreciation is the normal wear and tear. You know, in the profit and loss account, it is written. That means it's a revenue item. It's not a capital item. The depreciation, the profit and loss account, debit side it is written. All the revenue items are written in the P&L account. In the debit side, depreciation is written. In the final account you have seen, it is written, and it is also shown as a deduction from the capital, deduction from the asset. That means that much value has been decreased. Okay, so depreciation is not like capital loss. Capital loss when the asset, like asset is completely destroyed due to some calamities or due to some incidents, that is actually known as capital loss. In that case, no such provision is made, and that capital loss is not written in the P&L account even, because it's not a revenue item, it's a capital item. Okay, and it hampers the production process also. So if a machine is lost, machine is spoiled, you cannot, it hampers the production process. But depreciation does not hamper or hamper the production process, because it's a normal wear and tear. And you know, in the case, in the depreciation accounting, you have seen, you will make an account, make it, I mean, to replace the, for the replacement of the asset, you have seen depreciation fund and all you create, and with that money you can buy a new machine. So depreciation is like it's something which we cannot avoid. It's a revenue item, but there is, if the asset is totally destroyed, that will be taken as the capital loss. So this you understand in the case of depreciation. Like next term that you will see, we will see in every problem, that a term is net indirect tax. Net indirect tax. What is indirect tax? Indirect tax means, what is indirect tax? Tell me what is indirect tax. Can you tell me an example of direct tax?
Income tax.
Income tax is a direct tax. That means the incidence and the burden of payment falls in the same person. My income tax, I have to pay. That is income tax. What is indirect tax? Indirect tax, it's an example. GST is an example of indirect tax. Many indirect taxes are like clubbed together, and we call a name GST. GST is an indirect tax. That means the burden we are buying, and the another person is buying it, and the burden falling is on, I mean, you are not the person who produced it. So the burden of paying the tax is falling, it's not direct on the person who is selling it, it is falling on another person. That is indirect tax. GST is an example for that. So what is net indirect tax? Net means there are two types of thing, that tax you have to pay to the government. There is another term or another thing that government will grant you. Can anybody term that particular thing that government will give you? What is
Subsidy.
that? Subsidy.
Subsidy.
Subsidy. That means we have to pay tax to the government, and government will give you some allowance, that is known as subsidy. So what is net indirect tax means? I mean, a net amount of this tax and subsidy. You will find a net amount what should be given. Suppose 2,000 rupees tax you have to give, and 1,500 subsidy you will get. In that case, you just have to. What's the net indirect tax? The net indirect tax is only 500. So an amount which is adjusted with subsidy, that is known as what? Net indirect tax. The total tax is to be given, and if any subsidy is there, it is adjusted with the tax. That term is known as net indirect tax. So what you have to actually pay, the net amount you have to pay. If you are eligible to get some subsidies, that will be deducted and it will be given. That amount is known as net indirect tax. Okay, so that term also you will see in many cases in the next chapter while you calculate the national income. This net indirect tax is another term you will frequently see in almost every problem. Net indirect tax means what? Indirect tax minus subsidy. From the total indirect tax, we have to deduct the subsidy. Okay, that is known as net indirect tax. Only that much now you have to pay. That is known as the net amount you have to pay. That means net indirect tax minus subsidy is equal to NIT, net indirect tax. Okay, so that is one term. Another term now, Anurag was saying NFIA. What is NFIA? I will write it on the board.
Net factor in income from abroad.
Yeah. So next term is NFIA, that is net factor income from abroad. Net factor income from abroad. That means whatever factor income you have from rest of the world, just understand it like this, net factor income from abroad is whatever factor income, that means income you have collected or you have earned from abroad. So if you don't add to the national income this NFIA, it will be, if in the total income you are not adding it, that will be only your domestic income. So when the domestic income, if you add net factor income from abroad also, then it becomes the national product. Okay, in the national product or the national income, NFIA is also included. Whatever factor income from abroad is also included in national income. If you don't add it, that and all we will study in very much detail in the national income calculation. If you don't add it, it will be purely a domestic income. If you add it, it becomes a national income. So what is factor income from abroad? It is the income which is earned by the normal residents of our country from rest of the world. From rest of the world, from other countries and all, what the residents of our country earn. That is the meaning, theoretical meaning of NFIA. So theoretical meaning of NFIA is the factor income, the income which is earned by the normal residents of our country from rest of the world, that is known as NFIA. So if it is not included in the total income, it is only domestic income. If it is also added, then it becomes national income. So theoretically, you just understand this is the factor income which is earned by the normal residents of the country from abroad or from rest of the world. Okay, so that is NFIA. Then with the domestic income, if we add NFIA, what will become? National income. So with the domestic income, if you add NFIA, that will become the national income that we will study in the national income calculation. So now you just understand the full form of this and what is this? This is net factor income from abroad. That means from rest of the world, whatever the residents of our country earn. That is known as NFIA. So with domestic income, when NFIA is added, that becomes the national income. That becomes the national income. So domestic income from NFIA is equal to national income. And this NFIA can be negative or zero, that we will study. Okay. So this much only you have to know about NFIA even. What is the full form of it and what is the meaning and how domestic income changes to national income with the application of NFIA. Okay.
Ma'am, significance is not in our syllabus.
Sorry?
Ma'am, significance.
Sorry? Significance.
Ma'am, we have components and significance or not in our syllabus.
It is there. You just go through the syllabus. I will send to you. What is the significance of NFIA? You just tell me what is the significance. Is there any importance? It is important while calculating the national income. It is an important component of national income. That's the significance. What is the significance of NFIA? It is an important component of your national income. Okay, that is the significance. It's a very important factor, a component of the national income. Otherwise, it is domestic income. You can even write this. That's the significance. Your domestic income will change to the national income when we add it. A component, one more component is being added. Anurag?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And NFIA, so you asked me the components. You asked me the components of NFIA. What can be the components? What are being included in this NFIA? For national income calculation, you don't want to know it, but still, what must be included in this national? What is this? NFIA. What is this? What is the full form of this?
National factor income
Net.
from abroad.
Net factor income from abroad, not national. Net factor income from abroad. What are the things included in it? Net compensation of employees. What is compensation? Compensation means salary, wages, what not wages, salary, whatever return. Whatever return we are getting net compensation from the other country, what our residents are getting, that will come under net compensation of employees. That is included in this. This net income from property and entrepreneurship. If Indians doing some business, income from property they are earning, that is included in this. Okay. So those are the components. That is net compensation to employees. What is this net compensation to employees? What is meant by the word net?
Net means pure.
Sorry?
Ma'am, it's the difference between what we are receiving and what we are paying them.
Yes. In this case, the word net means, see, our net factor income from abroad, that is net compensation to employees, refers to the difference between the income from work received by our resident, okay, received by our residents living or employing abroad for less than 1 year. Why I am saying less than 1 year? For resident of our country. That means you just understand whatever we are receiving and paying, the amount which is net. Suppose we are giving, NFIA is going more from our hand, what we are giving is more and our residents receiving that is less. In that case, you are having a negative NFIA. That means our residents are earning less from abroad, but here more foreigners are working, we are paying more. In that case, we are paying more. In that case, that will be included in their national income. And here, in India, their residents, whatever we are getting is less. In that case, your NFIA is negative. That means the difference between what we are getting and what we are giving in the form of compensation to employees. That is net compensation to employees. So that is one of the important component of NFIA, what we get as compensation. That is net amount, what we are giving and what we are getting in the form of compensation. The net amount will be included in NFIA. Then, difference between income from property. We have some income from property from the rest of the world. We have many entrepreneurs in our country who is getting income from property, income from entrepreneurship. All this money is received by the residents of our country. That is also included. And we have some payments also. We have some payments, so there also the net amount, net income received from property and entrepreneurship is added in. That means we have some businessman who is having some property and some investment outside. We are receiving something that will be added. Suppose they have some property here, entrepreneurship say we are paying also there, and the net amount will be, if it is positive, it is, I mean, the net amount will be added plus or minus. That in the case may be. If you are giving more, that is minus. If you are getting more, that is plus. That's all. The net amount from property and entrepreneurship, that's also added in NFIA. So two things you have seen. What are the two things? What is the first thing? Net compensation. Compensation always is whatever return you get. Mainly it is salary, whatever return you get. Okay. Net compensation to employees. Net compensation to employees, that's an important component of NFIA. The net income from property and entrepreneurship. Then net retained earnings. And retained earnings, you know what is retained earnings. What is retained earning?
Savings for future use.
Exactly. It's also known as plowing back of profit. A part of the profit you are keeping for future purpose. part of the profit you are keeping for the furtheration of business, for the enhancement of business, that is known as what? Retained earnings. That is also included in NFIA. Suppose the difference between retained earnings of resident companies located abroad. Some Indian residents, they have some business outside India and they have some return earnings. And that return earnings is the net amount. Just like that, they have some business in our country and they also have some retained earnings with them. So the net amount, plus or minus, that will also be included in NFIA. So you just understand the heads, what are being included. So Anurag asked me, that's why I'm saying, what are the things which is included in NFIA? The compensation. So the net amount of the compensation which is given to the employees, and the net income from the property or entrepreneurship. If you have some property outside, if you have some entrepreneurship outside, what's your income from that? Okay, and that will be net amount, what is payable, what is going outside of our country and what is coming to our country. What is coming to our country and what is going out of our country in the form of this income from property and entrepreneurship. That is added. The net amount is added to NFIA, and also the net retained earnings. So Indian residents who is having business there, Indians, those who are running business there, they also have some retained earnings, and some other country, they are running business there, they also have some retained earnings. So the net amount of this retained earnings is also included in NFIA. Those are the components of NFIA. So with domestic income, when we add NFIA, that become what? That become what?
National income.
National income. So you can write here, look at the board, Anurag.
Yes, ma'am.
What are the components? Now I said, what are the components of NFIA?
Compensation to employees.
Net. Don't forget the word net. Net compensation to employees. I'm not writing the word employees here because you know compensation to employees. Then net income from property or entrepreneurship. Net income from property or entrepreneurship. Why net? Those which will go out of the country and come into our country, the net amount is added, plus net retained earnings. Plus net retained earnings. This is what NFIA. So I haven't whatever you should know about NFIA, I have told to you. NFIA is net factor income from abroad. Okay, what the resident of our country earn from rest of the world, that is known as NFIA, and the net amount of that. So when it is added to the domestic income, then it becomes the national income. If this particular fact is not added, it is only a domestic income. So it is called national income when this is also added to domestic income. And NFIA include net compensation to employees. That means which we give and which we receive, which our residents receive and which we give to the other residents of the other country. So that is a net compensation given to employees plus national. Then what is this NI? What is this? Net income from property or entrepreneurship. Whatever income we get from the property which we have in the foreign country or entrepreneurship we have in the other country, the net, and they have in our country, the net amount of that property or investment from that property and the entrepreneurship, and the net amount of returned earnings. These three is called, the combination of these three, the total of all these three is called net factor income from abroad. Is it clear now? Now you can see we will be given NFIA. Sometimes you will be asked to calculate. You will not be given directly NFIA. Otherwise you will be given net compensation will be given, and net income from property entrepreneurship will be given, and one or two things will be given. It's not necessary that all the three will be given. So whatever available, if you add it, you will get NFIA. That will come into the problem part. So NFIA, that net factor income from abroad. Okay, the net amount, because everywhere we are taking the net compensation, net income from property or entrepreneurship, net retained earnings. So everywhere the net amount is taken, that's why net factor income from abroad. So what is the significance? What is the significance of NFA? It's an important component in the national income. That is the significance of this. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the domestic income, NFI, and I told you what is domestic income. It's the geographical territory administered by the government within which person, goods and capital is circulated freely. That means that's the definition. You will read what is domestic territory and what normal residents. Okay, normal residents of India, even though it is not there, you will read it, understand it. Okay. So here NFIA ho gaya. Then what's the next thing we have to? Okay, circular flow of income we have already done in the two-sector model. Then methods of calculation, aggregate related national income and related concepts. National income and related concepts, again, all these things will come under that. All these things, whatever NFIA and all you have seen again in the aggregate facts, everything will come. Like there are 7 aggregates, 7 or 8 aggregates given in your book that you have to study. How many aggregates? Let me see. There are, how many aggregates are there?
Ma'am, 8.
Okay, 8 aggregates you have to study. National income and related aggregates. Like it goes like GDP at market price. Okay, what is market price and factor price? I will write 2 terms here. Market price and factor price. The 2 terms are factor price and market price. What are the difference between the two? Yes.
Ma'am, market price is what price we have brought it from market, or the selling price, and the factor cost can be the payments made to the factors of production which help in the production of that product.
Yeah, can you put it in more technical words? In factor price, what is not included, and in market price, what is included?
Ma'am, indirect taxes.
This tax. When tax is included, it becomes market price. When tax is not included, that means only the cost of production, what we give to the factors of production are added, that is a factor price. So factor price plus tax is known as market price. So whenever you get any aggregate with FP, that is factor price, or it will be given as like, FC. It will be given like GDP FC, okay, NDP FC. So whenever this factor cost FC is given, you just understand it is without tax. And if you have to find out market price with FC, what is to be added? Tax is to be added. Suppose you are given GDP at FC. You are given GDP at FC and you are asked GDP at NP. GDP at market price, MP. So you have to convert this FC into MP. How will you convert? With this FC, you just add tax, then it will become GDP at MP. Did you understand? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the difference between factor cost and market price. More technically, okay, this is the meaning. Okay, factor price is that which is given to the total price or cost which is given to the factors of production, that is known as factor cost, that's the meaning. And market price, you just technically you should understand, in factor price tax is not included. In the factor price, when tax is added, it becomes the market price. So if you are given GDP at FC and asked to find out GDP at MP, you just have to add the tax. Okay, let me ask another thing. You are given GDP at MP and you are asked to find out FC, then you will minus it. Okay, fine. Then you are given GDP at MP and you are asked to find out the GDP. This is gross domestic product. You are asked to find out NDP. What you will do? Gross domestic product is given. You are asked the national NDP. What you will do? Net domestic product. What is NDP? Net domestic product is asked. What you will do? How you will convert the gross into net? Yes. How will you convert the gross into net? Today only I said how you can change the gross into net. Anybody? Give it a try. How can the gross should be converted into net?
Ma'am, minus depreciation.
Minus depreciation. Gross is converted into net by minusing depreciation. So if GDP given, how will you convert it to net domestic product or NNP, whatever GNP given, you have to convert it to NNP, net national product. From gross, if you have to convert net, you have to minus depreciation. If net is given, you have to go back to, if G is asked, gross is asked, you have to add back depreciation. So today you have seen these two things you keep in your mind. So NFIA now you know. I hope you understood the concept of NFIA and what is the what's the treatment of it in the national income. That's more important. The treatment of NFIA in the national income is it is added to find out the national income. With domestic income, it is added to find out the national income. That's the treatment. Okay, and find out NFIA, there are three components. What are the three components? Net compensation to employees plus net income we derive from the property and entrepreneurship from outside. I mean, net, don't from outside, don't say, because it's a net amount, but we are from outside and from we are getting and what we are giving, that's what the net plus, what's the last thing? What is the last component? Net retained earnings. When we add these three, we will get NFIA. And the what is the national income calculation? The important is with the domestic income, it is added to find out the national income that you have seen. And another factor, two factor you have seen, very important. When factor cost is given, with factor cost, if you add tax, it will change. FC will change to MP, that is market price. FC will change to market price when tax is added. And if you go reverse, when from MP, if tax is deducted, from MP, when tax is deducted, you can reach to FC. So if FC is given, MP is asked, add tax. If MP is given, FC is asked, minus tax. Then gross and net. If GDP is given, NDP is asked. Or if GNP is given, gross national product, don't worry, we will see all this term in very detail, what is NNP and all, we will study it, but I am just giving the example just to give you a knowledge about what is gross and net. If GNP is given and NNP is asked, for reaching from gross, if you have to reach at net, what you will do? You will minus depreciation. And net is given, you are asked the gross, then you have to add back depreciation. Okay, so 2-3 things from FCMP, gross net, and what is the treatment of NFIA. Those are the things you have seen today.